देवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 13. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Yoga Adhyatmikah Pumsam Mato Nishreyasaya Me Atyanto Paratir Yatra Dukhasya Cha Sukhasya Cha. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Yoga Adhyatmikah Pumsam Mato Nishreyasaya Me Atyanto Paratir Yatra Dukhasya Cha Sukhasya Cha. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Yoga Adhyatmikah Pumsam Mato Nishreyasaya Me Atyanto Paratir Yatra Dukhasya Cha Sukhasya Cha. Synonyms. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the personality of Godhead said, Yogaha, the yoga system, Adhyatmikaha, relating to the soul, Pumsam, of living entities, Mataha, is approved, Nishreyasaya, for the ultimate benefit, Me, by me, Atyanta, complete, Uparatihi, detachment, Yatra, where, Dukhasya, from distress, Cha, and Sukhasya, from happiness, Cha, and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The personality of Godhead answered, the yoga system which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, which is meant for the ultimate benefit of the living entity and which causes detachment from all happiness and distress in the material world, is the highest yoga system. Purport. In the material world, everyone is trying to get some material happiness. But as soon as we get some material happiness, there is also material distress. In the material world, one cannot have unadulterated happiness. Any kind of happiness one has is contaminated by the distress also. For example, if we want to drink milk, then we have to bother to maintain a cow and keep her fit to supply milk. Drinking milk is very nice. It is also pleasure. But for the sake of drinking milk, one has to accept so much trouble. The yoga system, as here stated by the Lord, is meant to end all material happiness and material distress. The best yoga, as taught in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, is Bhakti Yoga. It is also mentioned in the Gita that one should try to be tolerant and not be disturbed by material happiness or distress. Of course, one may say that he is not disturbed by material happiness, but he does not know that just after one enjoys so-called material happiness, material distress will follow. This is the law of material world. Lord Kapila states that the yoga system is a science of the spirit. One practices yoga in order to attain perfection on the spiritual platform. There is no question of material happiness or distress. It is transcendental. Lord Kapila will eventually explain how it is transcendental, but the preliminary introduction is given here. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamlam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री भगवान वाच योग आध्यात्मिकः पुंसां मथो निश्चयसाय मे अत्यंतो परतिर यत्र दुःखस्य च सुखस्य च। So after listening to his mother Devahuti, Lord Kapila started speaking this verse. By the way, Lord was happy. Lord is happy in general. He's Satchidananda Ghana. So, but still, when the devotees perform activities which are uh, conducive to bhakti, he gets that feeling, that smile he had in this previous verse. So, why he was smiling, we can check. The last verse, Mother Devahuti mentioned or spoke was this one. Tvantvāgatāham sharanam sharanyam svabhritya samsārataroho kutāram jigyāsayāham prakrite purushasya namāmi saddharma vidham varishtam. So she was beautifully, after speaking a few verses, she ends her conversation with this verse. What she's asking is jigyasa. Jigyasa means a desire to know, a desire to learn, desire to understand. So that is jigyasa. So what is what she wants to learn? She wants to learn about a matter, prakriti and purushaha. Purusha is the supreme personality of Godhead, or the um, um, a spirit, or the spirit. Prakriti is nature and Purusha is spirit, or a spiritual, right? So she wants to learn about what is spirit and what is matter. And she expressed her desire like that. So I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take shelter. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists. And I inquire from you as to the relationship between a man and a woman and between spirit and matter. So Mother Dehuti wanted to learn that, or um, inquire about learning matter and spirit. So this jigyasa, or that inquiry from the mother, made Lord smile in the next verse. So Maitreya uvacha iti swamatur niravadyam ipi ipsitam nishamya pumsham apavarga vardhanam diya vinandyatma vatam satam gathir bhava saisa smita shobhitananaha. So he had a smita, a little smile, right? After hearing his mother's uncontaminated desire for transcendental realization, the Lord thanked her within himself for her questions, and thus, his face smiling, he explained the path of the transcendentalists who are interested in self-realization. So basically, Lord was delighted to know, to see the interest in his mother, Swamatur, Swamatur. So the Swamathur means his own mother. So Lord is Lord appears on this material world in many incarnations in at different times. But in this incarnation, he's born as a son of Mother Devahuti, right? So this son, even though he appeared as a son of Mother Dehuti, he's a supreme personality of Godhead at the end. At the end, like the summary is he's a supreme personality of Godhead, but he doesn't have to accept, but he also is accepting that he is like Mother Dehuti is his mother. Swamathur, he's accepting. It shows that he's accepting his mother as a mother. Okay, so Now, the today's verse, yoga adhyatmika pumsan mato nishreyasaya me atyanto paratir yatra dukkhasya cha sukhasya cha. So he's saying that yoga adhyatmika, I'll speak to you about adhyatmika yoga. So what is adhyatmika yoga? Okay, so the adhyatmika yoga is the yoga which is spiritual, basically, which is for the soul, the knowledge of the soul. Srila Prabhupada mentions it is a bhakti yoga here. So bhakti yoga is also called as adhyatmika yoga, is nothing but the bhakti yoga, learning about the soul, learning about the spirit, learning about the matter. Okay, so when a devotee like Mother Devahuti, right, when they, so the primary qualification what is required, that is required to acquire knowledge um, is inquisitiveness. Okay, the primary knowledge, primary qualification, sorry, the primary qualification to learn a knowledge is humility. Okay, so the primary qualification to acquire knowledge is humility. So what happened? Mother Dehuti quoted multiple verses and showed um, how fallen she is. Please remember, Mother Dehuti is daughter of the emperor of this universe, Swayambhuva Manu, and she is the I mean, her husband is Kardama Muni, the greatest sage who can create material appliances like that. You know, we have she has all these appliances till now. That the palace, the flying palace, is just there in front of her. If she wants, she can use it. But still, she was feeling humble. When we have these powers, when we have something in our control, we get bereft and we think about, we think that no one is above us. But Mother Devati was humble enough to say that all these material appliances I possess, I'm tired with that. These appliances are tiring me. This activity, I have seen everything now, but what I need to now know is what is the realization, what is the soul, and what is the spirit, and what is the matter. So that is a question. And she became humble. She realized she was, she's always humble, but she is saying that when the first primary qualification to learn a knowledge is a humility, and she's expressing that humility through her verses. Okay, and then when the need of this realization or the need of this knowledge arises due to humility, with humility we have to approach a spiritual master, or a knowledgeable person, okay, or a guru. So when we approach this spiritual person, then that spiritual person can give us the knowledge. Okay, so tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti jnanam tattva gnan. Okay, what is that verse? Tadviddi
Jnanina Tattvadarshina.
Jnanina Tattva Darshana. Very nice, Mataji. Yeah. So, yeah, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadeshantvite Jnanam Jnaninas Tattva Darshanaha. So, we have to approach a knowledgeable person um, to learn the truth, right? So, we have to, for that, we have to inquire them submissively and render service unto him. Then that self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth, because he's a knowledgeable person. So that is what, with all these verses, Mother Devati had done or followed this principle, right? She showed, even though she's so great, her category is different. She's not a normal, regular living being on this earth. She had, as I said, she had so much of opulence. Okay, everything was there, but still she was humble enough, and she reached or approached uh, Lord Kapiladev, her son, and inquired submissively to impart that knowledge of spirit and matter. So when such thing happens, then Yeah. So when such thing happens, then the Lord smiled. Our Lord, can he? He's a supreme personality of Godhead. Like, he doesn't. Nothing makes difference for him because everything was created by him. Everything was, um, everything was manifested on this, like whole universes, and everything was manifested by him, making him delighted is one thing. I mean, that's rare, and it's important for the living entities to do that. Right? Prabhupada says that if you go to the deities, let's say, for example, the Mangalarti, we're not going to Mangalarti because we have to take the darshan of the Lord, but the Lord should give the darshan. Okay, Lord should think, okay, this devotee came in today. So that delights, that smile we can see in the face of the Lord. Okay. So yeah, so there was this great Vaishnava. Just remembering this. So there was this great Vaishnava in Vrindavan, who is blind, right? He's a very dear um, follower of Vaishnavism, and he used to go to. He's blind, so a blind devotee, he cannot see. Okay, but he used to go to Mangalarti of Banki Biharaji in Vrindavan every day, every morning. So some one day, some neophytes or some devotees, they said, Babaji, you are going to take darshan of Banki Biharaji, but you can't even see. What kind of darshan are you taking? Then in the sense, like, you are blind, they're asking him, you are blind, then why you come like so far so early in the morning to take darshan? You can't even see the Banki Biharaji, like how can you take darshan? Then Babaji mentions them that, um, I am blind, I know that, but Banki Biharaji is not blind, right? So he can see me. I'm not coming to take darshan, but Banki Biharaji must watching me, so he can see me. So I came. So what we're trying to say is, like, we always think from our perspective. So here, getting that smile, getting that ipsita, sorry, not ipsita, the smita of the Lord is important, and that's what Mother Devata has done. But going to our verse today. So yeah, so Adhyatmika yoga in this material world is completely different. The meaning of yoga in this material world completely is different. So the yoga which we follow in this material world in general term is hatha yoga. Basically, hatha yoga or Ashtasiddhi yoga. Srila Prabhupada mentions in one of his classes, it's Ashtasiddhi yoga, eight ways of perfection, perfecting the life, or eight types of perfection. So those yogas, Prabhupada explains that there are eight types. So the first one is anima, mahima, garima, laghima, prapti, prakamya, istva, and vastva. So basically, anima means reducing one's physical self to a size of an atom, right? And mahima, growing one's physical self to an incredibly large size. He can be like, growing big, growing small. And garima means making oneself heavier, very heavy, immovable. Okay. And laghima, becoming almost weightless, so weightless that he can fly. Okay. So prapti, being able to travel wherever one wants, right? They can travel. Prakamya is being able to obtain whatever one wants. So that is a prakamya. You can obtain whatever they want. Istva is possessing lordship, and vastva is being able to control the minds of others. So these are the different levels of different types of yoga, and whatever we follow. Like, I don't know if someone. Yeah, there are some personalities who can do this in this Kali Yuga also. But what I'm trying to say is, like, this is yoga, this belongs to the material world. We cannot take it out. It doesn't help the soul. The yoga, which Adhyatmika yoga, which Lord Kapiladev mentioned in this word, in this verse, is for the soul. So what is the difference? The difference is that, um, The difference is that in this material world, everyone is trying to find some happiness. Okay, so that happiness is not complete. There is a distress. Whenever we look for happiness, it comes with a package. Like the happiness and distress comes with a package. Okay, the supreme yoga is not to aspire for material happiness, neither become distressed by material conditions. So Adhyatmika is different. Adhyatmika is just to it's not as per the material happiness or distress. Okay, so but everyone in this world is aspiring for the happiness, but the distress comes with it. So yeah. and- okay, so material happiness is basically illusion. So there is nothing called as material happiness, and there is nothing called as material distress also. So what is it? So Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the examples, when there is a hot pot of water, the same hot water will be conducive or gives happiness when we are in winter season, right? The winters are coming up. In the winter season, that hot water is conducive or it is happiness. You feel, wow, we got something hot. Okay, but the same hot water, when we use it or when we go to the hot water, like boiling hot water, in summers it is distress. We feel that, oh, why this hot water? So the material is same, the concept is same, but this is the perception of the mind, right? Sometimes even the resource is same, the perception of the mind is different at different circumstances. In the winter, the same hot water is conducive, but in summer, that hot water is not conducive. This is called as um, no, this is pratikula and anukula. Anukula is which is very conducive. Pratikula is which is opposite to conducive. It is aversion, like we don't like it. So pratikula. Um, so we have seen that, right? In this material world, this material happiness is not happiness and distress is not permanent, and they come and go. We know the story of Chitraketu, King Chitraketu. Um, was a great king, and he had some, like had many wives, um, and he could not have a child. He couldn't have a boy. No one was able to give him a boy. So he was very upset. By the mercy of Angirasa Muni, he got a boy from his wife Kritadyuti, right? So when he was very happy when the boy was born, King Chitraketu was very happy, delighted, and he was overjoyed with the birth of the boy. But at the same time, the co-wives of Kritadyuti, they poisoned that boy to kill him because they were envious of that boy. The king was spending most of his time and everything for the pleasure of that boy. So these queens, other queens, the co-wives of Kritadyuti, they got envious about that boy, and they poisoned that boy to kill him. So that boy was dead now. All the joy he had for all these days, for a couple of years or few years, he lost at one shatter. What one go, he lost all the enjoyment, and he was into distress now. He is completely devastated due to the loss of his son, and he was not doing anything. No, he stopped performing any activity for that kingdom. As a king, he has a duties. He stopped performing his activities, and um, he was distressed completely. Then Narada Muni and Angirasa Muni, they both came. Um, they both came to pacify King Chitraketu. But in that journey, in that conversation, to pacify King Chitraketu, Narada Muni uh, brought back the child, his son himself. And when the child was asked, like the moment the child came back in life, Then Chitraketu was so happy and he ran to him and hugged him. Then he asked, and the child was asking King Chitraketu that you are saying that you are my father, but I have so many fathers. Life after life, I keep getting different fathers. That the fathers are changing. You tell me which father you are, which life you are my father. So because I have passed on to the another journey. So that is the question which uh, um, which made King Chitraketu to think right now. So it's this material body is temporary, and this material the real thing in this material world is soul. Okay, the soul is the real thing, and anything we perform for the benefit of the soul, which is Adhyatmika yoga or the Bhakti yoga, that is for the soul. This Hatha yoga and the yogas we perform, it's not for the soul, it's for the material body. You grow big, you grow small with the will. What kind of difference does it make to the Bhakti? What kind of difference does it make to your spiritual progress? Right, all these special things, special activities will not help. So that's why yeah Lord Kapil Dev is saying that yoga adhyatmika pumsam. So I'll speak to you about that yoga, this adhyatmika yoga, for the benefit of the pumsam is living entities. Okay, mato nishreyasayame, for the ultimate benefit. Nishreyasaya में अत्यंत परतिर इत्र. So atyanta uparatihi, to become detachment from what? Detachment from dukkasya and sukhasya, the material distress and material happiness. So this bhakti yoga will deliver us from this material distress and happiness. So what is the how does this bhakti yoga does? What is bhakti yoga? Bhakti yoga is of ninefold, right? um, Prahlad Maharaj beautifully mentions in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So there are 9 types of bhakti. Any one of them you can take, or all of them, or some of them. You can take any one of them, but all of them has the equal opportunity to deliver a soul from this material miseries, from this continued birth and death life cycle. So the moment we follow this, Shravanam means listening or hearing, Kirtanam means chanting, and Vishnu Smaranam, remembering of the Lord. Pada Sevanam means there are multiple meanings. Basically, remembering the Lord and visiting to the Lord's temple, serving the Lord by going to the temple. So that is Pada Sevanam. Archanam, performing elaborate deity worship. Vandanam, paying obeisances to the Lord. Dhasyam, basically feeling yourself the servant of the Lord. Sakhyam is making a Lord as your friend, right? And Atmanivedanam, completely surrendering to the Lord, right? So this is a ninefold process, and anything which we take will be will make us delivered from this material world. So that is why this Adhyatmika yoga is very important, uh, rather than using any other yogas. So Kapila is telling his mother that I will speak to you about the Adhyatmika Yoga, which will deliver these living entities from the. This is the ultimate benefit, and this yoga, this Adhyatmika Yoga, can deliver or detach the living entities from the material distress and happiness. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. A very, very auspicious day. Disappearance of our Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So, in commemoration of that, if you want to increase your number of rounds today, we'll highly encourage you. And if you want to join the club of 192 rounds, not one day, which Haridas Thakur chanted, but over starting from yesterday or starting from today and going over the entire weekend. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Padmadesha, Jaya Padma Mukha, Padma Bringam, Mugravira, Mahavishnum, Jalantam, Sarvato Mukham, Nrsingam, Vishnabhadram, Mityam, Mityam, Namamiham. Nrsinga Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Pancha Kalpataru Sindhu Bhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavane Bhaya Vaishnave Namo Namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल।
Prabhuji, do we need to fast?
Hare Krishna.
No.
Okay. And how to join that club, Prabhuji?
Just chant at your home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And do report. Or you can send me a text. How many rounds you counted?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare.
Okay.